All right, let's talk about getting rich. You know the drill, right? Go to school, land a good job, save every penny, and maybe, just maybe, after 50 long years, you can finally retire wealthy. But what if I told you that whole roadmap, what if it's actually designed to keep you just average? Today, we're going to explore a totally different path, one that flips the script and talks about creating wealth not in 50 years, but maybe in just 5.
So let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you sold your soul for the weekend? I mean, really think about that. Is your entire life built around trading 5 days of work, of servitude, for just 2 precious days of freedom? This is the killer question at the heart of the Millionaire Fastlane, and man, it's a real wake-up call if you feel stuck in that daily grind.
You see, society sells us this deal. It says, hey, sacrifice your youth, give up your energy, trade in your time, which, by the way, are your most valuable assets, and we'll give you a payoff way down the road. But here's the kicker. That payoff isn't even guaranteed. It's this massive gamble where you're literally betting your best years on a future that might not even pan out the way you hope.
But what if there's a different road? A path that doesn't force you to trade your life just to make a living? What if you could build real wealth and do it fast enough that you're still young enough to actually enjoy it? Well, that alternative, that's what the book calls the fast lane.
Okay, so first things first. Let's really break down that traditional path. You know, the one that millions of people are on right now? And a lot of them don't even realize they made a choice to be on it. This is what we call the get-rich-slow promise. I mean, just look at the math for a second. You give away 5 days to get 2 back. That's a terrible deal. It's like a negative 60% return on your time, and you make that trade week after week after week. Think about it. You would never, ever accept a deal that bad for your money, so why do we so easily accept it for our lives? And this really gets to the heart of that zombie commuter life. There's this incredible story in the book about one of the world's greatest violinists. He's playing incognito in a busy train station on a multi-million-dollar violin, and thousands of commuters just rush right past him. They're completely oblivious to this world-class beauty happening right in front of them because their minds are already chained to the workday ahead. It perfectly sets up this quote.
So, here's the big takeaway from that. We are not all on the same road. The author argues that there are really 3 distinct financial roadmaps, and the one you're on, well, that's what determines your destiny. Let's break them down.
First up, you've got the sidewalk. This is all about living paycheck to paycheck. It's a life fueled by instant gratification. You know the type. They might be driving a flashy car or have the latest gadgets, but they're one flat tire, one blown gasket away from a complete financial meltdown. The key here is they're focused on looking rich, not actually being rich. Okay, next up is the slow lane. Now this is the one most of us know. It's society's default plan. It's what we're all taught is the safe and responsible thing to do. The formula is super simple. Your job is your main and probably only source of income. You trade your time for money, you max out your 401k, and you just hope that good old compound interest will make you wealthy by the time you hit 65.
And then there's the fast lane. This is where things get really interesting. This isn't about getting a job. It's about building a business system. The entire goal is to completely separate your income from your time, because that's the only way to get real financial freedom. You stop trading hours for dollars. Instead, you build an asset, a system that works for you 24/7, creating wealth way, way faster.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, right? But the author, DeMarco, he actually lived this. His story is the perfect example of what it looks like to go from the sidewalk all the way to the fast lane.
So get this, at 26, DeMarco is totally depressed. He's living with his mom, bouncing between one dead-end job and another. So he makes this huge leap. He moves to Phoenix with practically no money and literally teaches himself how to code at the public library. He starts a simple website, but here's where the magic happens, the big pivot. Instead of just selling ads like everyone else, he starts selling leads to limousine companies. This was a total game changer at the time. He ends up selling the company, but then, after the dot-com bubble bursts, he brilliantly buys it back for a tiny fraction of the price. A few years later, he sells it again for millions, and finally, he buys that Lamborghini that inspired him when he was just a teenager.
And listen, this is the part that everybody misses. We all see the Lamborghini, right? That's the event. But what we don't see are the years of process that came before it. All the struggle, the risk, the failures, the relentless hard work. The fast lane is not an easy road, it's just a faster one. There are absolutely no shortcuts to the process. So, the big question is, how do you even get on this road? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in how you think.
It's the exact same mental shift DeMarco made when he decided to build a business instead of just looking for another job. You have to fundamentally stop thinking like everyone else.
Think about it. From the day we're born, we are trained to be consumers. We buy products, we take jobs, we watch TV. Our whole lives we're pulled along by the market. The fast lane demands that you flip that switch. You have to become a producer. So instead of looking for a job, you create jobs. Instead of buying the latest product, you create a product that people want to buy. You start solving problems for other people.
And this right here, this is the Fastlane wealth equation. It's simple. To make millions, you have to impact millions. Your income is just a reflection of the value you give to the world, multiplied by how many people you can reach. Just think about it for a second. The person who creates a simple little app that solves a small problem, but for millions of people, they can become a millionaire. It's not about how hard you work, it's about the scale of your impact.
So when you boil it all down, what does this mean? It means that you, and only you, are in the driver's seat. Your financial future isn't in the hands of your boss or the government or the economy. It's determined by the choices you make. Just think about it like this. Your choices are the steering wheel of your life. If you're on a long road trip and you adjust your steering wheel by just one tiny degree, you won't notice it at first. But after hundreds of miles, that tiny little adjustment will land you in a completely different city. It's the exact same with your life. Those small choices you make every single day, whether to consume or to produce, to just save or to invest in building a system, to be entertained or to learn something new, those little things are setting the entire trajectory for where you'll end up years from now.
And I think this quote from the philosopher Marcus Aurelius just sums it all up perfectly. Is it sane to just follow the masses, to trade 5 days for 2, year after year after year? Or is the truly insane thing to do exactly what everyone else is doing and somehow expect to get a different result? Ultimately, the road you take, well, that's entirely up to you.